We're live. This is The Collective on WSME Enlightenment Radio. I have the good fortune of having Ant-Man from The Hustle Within, Captain Entertainment. It's that time of the month.
Oh yeah.
Talking sports.
Sports.
Hey, man, how you
Sports
doing?
time.
It's been a minute.
Oh yeah, it's been a minute. You know, we
Yeah,
had
got
real
any
life
chance?
stuff happen.
Yeah, we both have.
Yeah,
So it's nice to have a little bit of a distraction for the moment.
right.
So let's talk about you know who. The last time you and I talked, I had more questions than you did about Cam Newton and what he was going to do and how he was going to do it.
Right.
Because I was wondering where he was going to land. That was the last thing we really had talked about. And as it turns out, he has ended up with Charlotte.
Back home.
Well, back in Charlotte with the
Back
Carolina
to the-
Panthers. So, what's the buzz in Charlotte?
Ticket prices went up.
Yeah, almost like 41% or something.
41%
Ridiculous,
tickets.
right?
So you already don't have a what's that? PL the PSLs or whatever. You
Yeah,
don't have one
yeah.
of them. Hey, getting tickets is gonna be hard now. Me personally, I think he gave them a spark. He scored two touchdowns this past Sunday, and Carolina, I think, still they in the 7th seed right now for the playoffs.
For the playoffs.
Yeah.
And they've got a pretty simple schedule coming up.
Oh
and
yeah,
simple,
pretty easy.
Yeah. I mean, by who are they playing next? Is it the Giants?
I want to say I think they do play the Giants out of one of these games.
Yeah, they've got like two very
New Orleans, I think, again, and then they got Tampa. I think they got Tampa coming up too.
But it's gonna put them back. It's gonna put them back in the at least 750 plus points range. So that's enough for them if they can hold on to it. That's enough for them to be considered for the playoffs.
Right.
So it comes down to whether, because Cam didn't start this game, right?
No, he came off the bench.
He came off the bench in this game, and then he scored the touchdown for the 2 points, but then he stayed in for what, 9 plays or something?
Yeah, he scored two. I think he scored 2 touchdowns in
Yeah,
I think he scored 2 touchdowns.
3 completions, 4 attempts for 8 yards, along with 14 rushing yards on 3 carries.
Right.
Okay. So, yeah, they played. Sorry, cuz I got a very dear cousin who is a Washington fan. Don't ask me why.
Oh, they play Washington next.
Yes, but
oh yeah, they do because they were talking about River Run, Riverboat.
Yeah.
Coming back. Yeah, they do play him. Yeah, but I think they're gonna start Cam this next game.
Yep, it looks like they're gonna start him, and then they play they're calling them soft matchups: Atlanta and Miami.
Right.
And then after that, it gets tough. Buffalo Bills and then New Orleans. But if they hang in there, that still may put them at 10-7.
Yeah, I don't see. New Orleans is like one of them teams. I'm like, you don't know what they're going. You don't know what you're getting out of them.
Yeah, they
don't really have a quarterback either. They really don't have a quarterback.
Not at this point, but their defense is pretty strong. Yeah, that's what carries them. I mean, I'm sorry, the offense is pretty strong. That's what carries them a lot of times. Got a good offense.
Kamara hasn't been playing.
Yeah, he's out. He's been out this week. They're going to bring him back next week. Well,
yeah, he might be back.
He might be back, I should say.
Might be back. So yeah, you're really looking at he's been nicked up. He hasn't really been healthy.
Yeah.
Jameis Winston's out for the season, so he was the only typical quarterback that they had. Then they brought in Taysom Hill. He's really not a quarterback. He's everything else. He's the gadget back. So he's really not a quarterback. So my whole thing is like, what can you really do with him? I mean, you're not gonna win a playoff. You probably not even gonna make the playoffs with him. Really,
Yeah.
Him. That's why they signed Jameis Winston and him, because he's a fan favorite. He sells jerseys.
Mm-hmm.
Jameis Winston, they was bringing in to be an actual quarterback.
Yeah.
And he's not a consistent quarterback. So New Orleans really was one of them teams that was on the edge also this year, that might make the playoffs, might not make the playoffs. And I don't think they're going to make it.
Well, yeah, because there's too much going on with them right now.
Right.
They're good in fantasy league for points, but not too much else.
It's a weird year. I'm going to say it like this. The NFL is one of these years that even as a 3-6 team, which is Seattle, my team,
yeah,
we are 3-6. End of the day, we still got an opportunity if we can go. I mean, if we can go on a nice run, which I have seen the Seahawks. I've been a fan since I was 9 years old.
Right.
I've seen the Seahawks go on runs where they win 6 in a row, 7 in a row. Mm-hmm. They might go on a 7-0 run. We never know. This is how crazy this NFL season is.
Yes,
the team you think gonna win is not winning.
Yeah, and it's been full of upsets. The Bills are doing pretty well. Arizona got upset by was it the Jets or the Giants?
I think the Giants beat them.
The Giants beat them, right? And they had a pretty good. They were like 7-0, 8-0 at that point. So, you're right. It's been unpredictable in a lot of ways. Matt Jones has not done bad with New England, but at the same time, he still hasn't quite gotten his sea legs. He's not quite adjusted
and they the hottest team.
The NFL.
New England's the hottest team right now. They the only consistent team. They won 4 in a row.
Yeah.
Everybody else is like win 2, lose 2,
right.
win 1,
right.
win 2, lose 1, lose another one. Yeah. And Dallas is right behind them. Dallas is actually behind them. Dallas is also, they 2-1 in the last 3 games.
Yeah.
Patriots won, I think, 5 in a row. I think
they've gotten 5 in a row, right?
Yeah, New England got 5 in a row. Because even the Bengals actually was one of them teams that you look at like, okay, they might get over that hump this year, and then all of a sudden they lose to Cleveland, get destroyed by Cleveland. Then they also lose. I think they lost this past week. I forgot who they lost to this week, but they also lost this week. So, yeah, it's one of them. It's one of these years that you can't really predict who's going to actually make the playoffs.
Right.
Because if you look at the AFC, every division is only a game out.
Right. Because
most of the division is a game out.
Yeah, because when you look at the AFC, even though it's weird that Tennessee is got a bye and it,
right,
number 1.
Yeah,
that's very strange.
Oh yeah, Tennessee's a hot team too right now.
Yeah,
they won like 3 in a row.
Yeah, so they are they're the team to beat right now.
Yep.
And then first round, they have the first round bye.
Mm-hmm.
Then the games between Buffalo and the Chargers, New England and Baltimore, Pittsburgh and Kansas City. And, people are talking about, did Patrick Mahomes' head get too large for his first season? I don't think so. I don't think it was him. I think it was the press. It's always the press. It's always the sports press.
Mahomes is he's a gadget quarterback also. But
now describe what you mean by gadget quarterback. Describe that.
Okay, so he's a gadget quarterback, meaning he's not your prototypical stand in the pocket, throw it upwards quarterback. He's gonna throw a sidearm. He might throw it underhand. He might throw it like a basketball, like he's shooting a basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Then he also might throw it just like a pro football player. Then he might throw it like he's throwing a baseball, falling down. That's the type of quarterback that Patrick Mahomes is. He's also one of these quarterbacks. If he will run on you, I mean, he's not a
he will.
He's not a little quarterback. He's not little either. He's like 6'3", 260, maybe 260, 250 something.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a small quarterback. He's not a small man. So my whole thing is, and then he's also, like you said, that first and second year made him into, almost put him into that legend category. He also won a world championship.
Right.
So he won the Super Bowl. So my whole thing is, they wrote them off, but at the end, if they make the playoffs, they one of them teams that can still win Super Bowl.
Right.
Yeah.
So
which they are. I mean, they right now they in the hunt. They 500.
Yeah. It's 6-4-0.
Yeah.
And they're number 4 in the AFC.
And I was thinking about Pittsburgh when they tied with Detroit Lions this past week. Mm-hmm. Pittsburgh was hot at one time. They was coming back a little bit.
Yeah, they were making a move.
Detroit.
Yeah.
They were making a move. A team that only won one game this whole year and tied. They won 8-1. Detroit Lions.
So, what are we thinking with your Seattle Seahawks?
Oh man. Well, Russell just got back. They played in Green Bay,
which was
very cold. Snow. It was snow on the ground, everything hitting. So for him coming off that hand injury, going into the frozen tundra,
so to speak.
One of the hardest places to play in the wintertime.
Right.
And you coming off a hand injury on your throwing hand. So, I knew it was going to be one of them games.
Ugly.
Now, going in, plus he was rusty. He was just getting back. So, I'm thinking now he going to get his foot on. They play Washington. They play Washington the following week, next week. They play who we got this week? I got to look at the schedule, but I think it's a pretty decent team. I don't think we have a very hard the remainder of the schedule. I think is besides Arizona, we got to play Arizona twice, I think.
And
to be real with you, realistically, if we get hot and we get our players, everybody get back healthy, and we get some type of camaraderie or something going on. Russell Wilson get into a rhythm. We might make a push.
You think it's there?
We might be able to make a little push. I'm not giving up 100% on the season yet because so everybody else in the NFC is so bad they can't win. That's why I'm not giving up on the season yet. I can't give up on the season. Think about 1 week you think Dallas is about to take over, they end up losing. 1 week you think Arizona about to take over, they end up losing. Then the Rams, they lose. They just lost again this past Monday.
Right.
They lost.
Right.
So I can't, so 2 teams in my division actually lost this past week. So, and they was the top of the head. They was the top of it.
Yeah.
The 49ers right now is only a game ahead of us for the 7-8 seed. So, I'm not giving up completely yet.
It's Arizona.
We got the head on the 49ers. We beat the 49ers this year, so.
Yeah. It's Arizona, LA Rams, San Francisco, and Seattle.
Yeah.
In the bottom half.
We're at the bottom.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, we're 3-6. I think we can.
You're 3-6-0.
So I'm looking at it like this. And I just like to see a decent record. I don't want to see you win the division 1 year.
Well, what do you consider decent? 8
wins.
Okay.
8
you think
wins.
You're gonna get 8 wins?
7. I mean, we might still be able to get about 6 to 7 wins. Yeah. Because you got to remember, we already got 3 wins. All you got to win 4 out of the next 8 games left.
Okay.
Well, they added that extra week, so we got 8 games left. So, we can win. I think we can win at least 4 of them games.
You really do. You believe that?
I think we can. I'm not going to say now. We one of them teams that can actually win 7 of the next 8 games if we put it together. Or we could be one of them teams that can lose the whole next 8 games.
Yeah.
We one of them type of teams. Like, okay, if Russell Wilson don't move right, we're not moving right. if the defense is not, because our defense played out, lights out, really, be real with you, against Green Bay. It was 3-0 going into the third quarter, all the way almost going to the fourth quarter. And then we ended up losing 17 by interception in the end zone, all that, 17-0. So, yeah, I think we can, with that defense that we got, a pretty decent defense, and Russell Wilson, if we get into rhythm, we can win at least 4 more games out of the 8. So I can say 7.
You really see y'all having a fighting chance.
Fighting chance. I ain't saying making the playoffs. I'm saying
just improving the record.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So in looking at who's doing what, right? When you start to talk about people being bought on mid-season, veterans coming into the game, there are people who have let folks down. Ryan Fitzpatrick, J.J. Watt, Sam Darnold, the quarterback for Carolina, was supposed to be an upgrade, but he hasn't really shown up. 11 interceptions this season. He ranks 30th among 34 qualified quarterbacks. And only rookies Justin Field and Zach Wilson have a passer rating lower than his, which is just under 72.
Right. And they the rookies.
And so do you think now with the quarterback having that injury that Carolina does, we talked about it in the beginning, but do you see them next year as really truly having a chance to come back and possibly definitely in the playoffs? But I don't know about them taking it all.
And you said with Carolina?
Yeah.
Carolina is one of those teams also scary because they got a very good defense. Very good defense. People, they've been underrated. They've been underrated a lot this year, but their defense is one of the top defenses in the NFL. So with a Cam Newton playing the way he played this past week, if he bring that same momentum going into the rest of the remainder of the season, don't get injured. If they made the playoffs, they can be a scary team to play. Yeah. On the road.
Now, do you think they're going to build around Cam? You think you're going to see some people leave?
That's one of them situations like that too. It's basically gonna come down to Cam. Cam played good remainder of the season. They're gonna re-sign him probably for another couple years, right? Because he probably want to play for another couple years and then retire.
Right.
And he probably wanted to retire as a Carolina Panther because he basically built, he built the team.
Built the franchise.
He the one, he brought him to the Super Bowl. Steve Smith was on the back end of retiring. Right. Steve Smith was one of the legendary players too that actually helped build the Carolina Panthers. Then you got other players like Jake Delhomme, all them players back in the day, Sam Mills, all them players back in the day. But these guys are long forgotten because the franchise only been around for 30 years, I believe, 20 years, 20
years, probably 20 years.
All right, so Carolina been around for 20 years. Out of the 20 years, Cam been with them 9 years.
Right.
And then you think he will come in, people will respect the fact that, okay,